Killer Mike.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We needed this. Hip hop needed this. And
the bar has been raised.
Like I said, I'm glad I got something as far as a hip hop album.
Yeah,
I get to sit with for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Appreciate it.
Can we talk about that record?
We can talk about it. We can talk
about that record.
We can talk about Killer Mike.
Nice.
I have no problem talking about Killer Mike. When he said this album as it was going to extend his career 15 more years and he was just getting started with a new chapter.
Hey.
I said, man, I don't hear people talk like that. The Killer Mike, all right, might be older than us. All right.
He is older. Yeah, he's older.
So for him to be able,
I think we're the same age.
Y'all might be around the same age, but for him to say, it's another 15 years and I want to be able to have something that lasts and I want to have something that's impactful and talk about how personal this record was to him. We don't hear artists talk like that a lot. Like there's a select few, there's a handful of artists that speak to, creativity and putting effort into it. He talked about how much it cost to mix the record, features, having a choir, no ID executive producing, like bringing all these people out to work on it, flying out to see XYZ, running stuff by Dre. Hearing him talk about everything that he put, some of these records are where Obama was in office. Like the intro, Obama was in office when he wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So they had like over 100.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that on the Breakfast Club. So I say that to say the fact that he actually cared, it shows in the product. When you listen to this album, it shows that he actually cared about what he put out.
Because he didn't put out about 4 or 5 albums since then.
Yeah, like because Run the Jewels and
sometimes it just doesn't work.
No, it's not. Yeah, sometimes the time doesn't match up for you to put something out.
Yeah. But you got to give that man his flowers. It's been a long time since I've actually fully enjoyed a record and listened to it all the way through and been like, I have to run this back again.
Good.
Well, it's the first one this year for me. Well, the first hip hop album for me this year that I've been able to listen to and digest like this.
Yeah.
As far as from front to back. Like, I mean, there's been some good stuff to come out.
Right.
But to me, it's all about a feeling. And this album gave me that feeling that that I crave. And it's some stuff on there that's personal to me.
Relatable records.
The Motherless track is out of this world.
Yeah.
And I've actually been listening to that for a while, since before the album came out.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way that album is put together is really good, man. And it's almost like gospel in a sense. I don't know. It feels good.
It gives, especially the first half of the album where he has, some actual choirs, not like sampled situations. Like he has, these people are actually singing on the record. He said they're going to travel. The choir is going to travel with him on the tour for the shows too. He says it's going to be an experience. Look, which I think is dope. I heard someone tried to compare this record to 444, and I said, in my,
different wavelength,
different wavelength,
way different.
One of the things about 444 is I had to be prepared to listen to it. Like, and I think, and I have to give props where they're due. I was prepared to listen to it because I'm such a fan of Fonte, who has always kind of kicked at grown, especially on Charity Starts at Home, and the things that's probably one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. Everything Fonte does is just phenomenal to me. I'm a stan. He
don't miss. He's one of those that doesn't miss.
And so. I've always, when people talk about, this is grown man rap, I'm like, with 444, I was like, I was prepared for this because I've been listening to grown man rap from one of my favorites for a minute.
That's a good point.
And one of the things about the Michael album is even if you're not prepared for it, it's going to touch you some kind of way, and like I said, this is recency bias. I remember, I think when I was just guesting on the show, we talked about 444 and I went through how much I loved it. But this Michael album is something that we're going to talk about for at least as long, if not longer, than 444. Because like I said, I still have my mother. I can imagine it may not be easy for somebody to listen to the song about, losing his mother. And he said in an interview, like, I didn't say that I lost my mother until I made this song, And
No ID pushed him to do it.
When he talks, when he's talking to get into a little bit of gangsterism, when he's talking about the regrets he has when he was, in college but still selling dope.
Right.
The line where he talks about, I don't care who the president is, as long as they for me.
Yeah.
Essentially. I mean, that's real.
The record that he did,
addressing his detractors, but doing it in almost in a way of love where he didn't have to. He could have just been like, F y'all, F this, and F all. Look,
the Junkies record when he talks,
Man.
when he talks about
humanizing the junkies.
Yeah, and the people in his tells the story about his aunt.
That's what y'all needed to eat.
He said on the that interview that there's a guy that he references that always hangs out in front of their barbershop. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he's talking about, this is for those people, the people that I see when I'm coming in, because dude looks out for the barbershop for us. Like it was a really good interview, and the fact that he did that record, and the I believe it was a speech by Mr. Farrakhan that comes in at the end with the chord changes and everything. Like this thing is put together like the sequencing in the album, song structure, like bridges, scenes. All of this stuff. It's literally like a movie, like he said.
The end of that very end, whether it's, I don't know what the language it is,
right. Oh yeah.
But still, I was compelled to listen. I was like, well, okay, maybe I'm going to figure it out at the end. I've listened to that record over and over just because I'm like, maybe I can get something just from the feeling.
What is that? Is it Doctors and Scientists?
Yeah,
scientists
and engineers.
Scientists and engineers.
Yep.
Future sound good on that song. Y'all know how I feel about Future.
Yeah.
I'm in the same. Right. I'm in the same camp. What you say, Long? Don't get carried away.
I mean,
it was just a good pairing to me. I mean, it was the first time I actually heard what could have been considered the new Dungeon family with some old Dungeon family members.
Yeah,
like Future's Dungeon family card was on display.
His name was Meathead when he was in the Dungeon family.
But even with the Andre 3000 verse, which of course I'm always happy anytime I get something from 3000. What Killer Mike does is so phenomenal on this whole album. Like, shout out to 3000, but I'm here for Killer Mike. That's how much I like.
I'm still here from 3 Stacks, but
I'm here for 3 Stacks. Don't get it twisted.
Don't
get me wrong, he did his thing. But,
Killer Mike went off on that.
Yeah. What Killer Mike did on that song, it takes me back to when, like, I was just I'm not gonna say I don't still love hip hop, but like between just all the things we've talked about in this show, the corporate interest, the playlisting, this, that. When I just hear somebody rapping and being honest to the point where like, I might have kept that to myself.
But it gives you that feeling.
It gives you that.
It's the feeling that you generally you've been searching for, and you were getting fed that feeling.
And he gave me a little something that I could playlist with the song that is clearly done by 3-6.
Go ahead.
I forget what song that was.
That song is incredible.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just.
That's the one where he has the president line.
Mm-hmm. The album is really good. It feels like it made me feel like Atlanta music felt when Outkast was at its height.
Oh.
Like it just kind of felt like like you mentioned, it was like kind of gospely. Like it has like a gospel type feel to it, and just the way that everything meshes together.
It speaks to your soul. It's like
but the way that all you guys are saying about like how he wrote everything, but it also goes into like the production quality to what you were talking about, Mike, in the sense of like he spent time on this, and those of you out there that are listening that can hear that he did are going to appreciate that, because I was able to appreciate that at a very high level. It's a very, very good project. There are some features I could do without. But some of them are really good as well. Like this Erin Allen Kane, who's singing on the Motherless joint.
Oh,
she's on a few songs.
And she killed this whole thing.
Like she was amazing on the Motherless song. And
I liked Young Thug's contribution.
I didn't need him on that record.
I didn't need him on that one.
I didn't need him on that.
I didn't need it could have, but I had no problem with what he did.
That's what I mean. Like in general, I can still listen to it. It's not going to take away from my experience. But there are some features that I'm just like,
it's a skip-free album, in my personal opinion.
I'm not a features person. Like I'm
not either.
I think features can be overly done. I think there can be too many. This project, on the other hand, I'm not mad at the features for like 95% of
sense.
It. Exactly.
Well, that's why
even the Fabo feature. I'm used to him acting a fool and clowning. I'm like, he got Fabo in a completely different pocket.
That's because Fabo is like a gym in Atlanta, straight up.
Yeah.
Well, that's because when I talk about my reverence for 444 as a project, is because it was so personal, and Jay, like, he might have given somebody some time for the chorus.
Yeah.
All the lyrics, the verses are Jay.
Yeah.
It's a personal album. I don't have no time to get nobody else on here. He might let a little something go here and there. I like personal albums. I like the vulnerability.
Yeah.
I do too. I know hip hop is built off bravado, and I'm the best, and I got the biggest car, and I got the baddest woman. But you know, as I get older, when I hear people talk about just real life things and they can verbalize it in a way that not only makes me relate, but also sounds good.
Yep.
It's usually their best product.
That's just where I'm at.
Yeah.
The
It's
key
taking
part,
time.
the key part that you're talking about, to Lone's point as well, it's the fact that the music is relatable, but it's also high quality.
It's multiple things happening in synchronicity at the same time to reach this product. This is not easy.
The lesson, one of the main lessons to Lone's point that should be taken from this for creatives is that the fact that he had to bake this thing to get it to sound like this. We're in an era now where people will brag about, we recorded the project. We've talked about this in 2 weeks, and it just put it out.
Yeah.
Right. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to sound like y'all recorded it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can tell. He didn't have to tell me that one of these records was back when Obama was president. I didn't have to tell me that, because I know how much effort was put into this project. You can hear it.
Well, no, it's not only that, but you know, the first time I listened to it, I was just listening through my phone. But then I was like, okay, I want to hear and this is something since with Lone, we talk about mixing. We talk about how things are actually supposed to sound.
Right.
Now I listen for that.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy when I hear like songs that are out and professionally done and quote unquote like on the radio, and I was like, this sounds awful.
Yeah.
You can hear the difference, can't you?
I can hear the difference.
Yep. There's only one record that I heard on this one where it sounded a little bit out of place, and it might just because it was on YouTube. I don't want to harp on the
No,
perfection.
But there was only one song where in the sequency, like it kind of brought it down a little bit, but then it came back up. You know what I mean? So, but in general, again, it's a great album. Great. I've only listened to it once, so I need.
But it makes you want to go back and revisit, right?
For sure. I'll go back and listen to it. I don't know which record. I think the Enrich joint was
that joint. Cool and Dre on the production.
That was one of my favorites.
I think
but Run was good. You know, like the CeeLo joint was good. The Slumber was good. The Scientist. I mean, like
Exit 9 was dope. Where you talking about where he's from? That was fire.
Yeah, that one was. Really
that was
good.
that was hot.
Motherless is amazing. Junkies record is fire.
The Motherless, like
Exit 9 was really good.
High and Holy at the end, where I ride out. That's fire. Like, I don't see a record on here where I'm like, nah, that's
there's nothing on here.
Yeah.
Where like I said, I've listened to this album. You know, and some people are like, what? Only 3 times? But like, I've listened to it all the way through 3 times. There's a point where like, I can't. I'm not going to do that one. I can skip that one. I want to playlist it and create my own little Killer Mike play. No, it's a complete piece of art.
It is.
You know, I need the front, middle, and the back. I can't separate. I can't take a piece out just because.
No, it's really good.
I need all of it.
When it was over, I was mad it was over.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
Yeah, because when I listen to something on Tidal,
like it goes to the next, you're like, dang.
And I'll be like, what? No, I don't want to hear. I mean, shout out to Busta Rhymes. I don't want to hear no Busta Rhymes song right now.
Yeah, I rewinded. I just played the last song over a couple times.
Yeah.
I had this similar feeling, but it just went to another Killer Mike song, and I was like, I want to go back to this.
I didn't even think that I would become. You said something, Jay Moore. I didn't realize that I would become a playlister. I never thought I would be that. Oh, I listen to the album. I'm an album guy. I appreciate the art, the album, but over time, music has come out so much, and I've become so overwhelmed with the quantity of music. I've turned into, I like track 3 and 4. We'll slide this one over, and it's in my mind now. I'll be honest, I do that, but on this one, never felt that. Rocked the whole way through.
Yeah, I didn't skip anything.
John Blaze.
Yeah, shout out to Killer Mike for the effort, man. We appreciate the effort.
So based upon like our earlier conversation about who needs to take the reins in hip hop and blah, 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 and all that stuff. Like, I mean, there are people out here doing it.
And I made a mistake. I thought me and Killer Mike were like the same age. He's actually 2 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm the oldest of the new old heads. So he's 2 years older than me.
That man out there repping for that Dungeon family correctly.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, shout out to Killer Mike, man.
We goes to show you that good music has no age, no matter the genre.
But this is the thing with Killer Mike.
I swear,
he put the money into the record, not into the promotion. So, like, I know he's on Breakfast Club because he has those relationships. But if he was on a major label, they'd be like, okay, now we got to go and you got to do a Killer Mike flyaway.
See, the thing about Killer Mike is special, because he's been tearing up the festival scene for years with LP, with
Facts.
Run the Jewels.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he's also been in these same rooms as these politicians and these lawmakers.
Yep.
So Killer Mike has created a name and a lane for himself that he doesn't have to do all that extra mess.
So
That's a good point.
I don't know if Bernie Mac,
Rest in peace of
Bernie Sanders has a Twitter, but like, I don't know, maybe Bernie Sanders, said, yo, pick up that new Killer Mike. Go ahead and listen to it.
I mean, think about it. It's Killer Mike has done quite. For having a name, Killer Mike.
Come on,
yes,
man.
And
talk to him, Lone.
Going into the political spectrum against conservatives who are not
with
good,
his rap name,
which are not good faith at all.
Yeah.
They're not good faith,
and making them respect you and take you serious.
I mean,
don't lose. Like he actually, it's not like it's a sideshow. Like when Killer Mike steps out as Killer Mike,
they don't say Michael Rayner.
They don't
render.
Michael Rayner.
Remember that, because I don't know if you guys remember, there was a quick point where he said, okay, maybe I need to move away from the name Killer Mike.
Yeah,
he wanted to call himself like Mike Bigga or something.
Mike Bigga, yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, no,
It doesn't have the same ring.
no, Killer
But
Mike.
all he has to do is say, yeah, because I kill microphones.
yeah.
And that's what he did.
It's fitting
what he
for
does.
him though, man,
It is.
because like a lot of people probably would get that never heard of him would think that his content was a lot different than what it is.
Yep.
And he's never wavered from this type of content that he does.
Yeah.
It just has gradually gotten better and more seasoned.
The thing about Mike,
I agree.
on this project is the one thing he did say that I believe it was. I hope I don't mess it up. But it was somebody from Organized Noise. Might have been Rico Wade. Might have been Sleepy. They said you have to keep this Atlanta in the midst of them making the record. So it's not.
It sounds it.
That when you talked about the Outkast stuff, that made me think about him actually saying.
It gives me the same type of feel of
When
like
you're
when I heard well, me specifically, like when I heard @𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐔𝐓.
Yeah,
Like it had it just Outkast was a lot different. Because that was my first introduction to Outkast.
Yeah.
So then I had to go back, but
he said that was very important for him not to lose the sound of Atlanta in the process.
Yeah.
And I think
He is Atlanta through and through. So when
True.
I think, I guess in a sense, I'm an old head. I'm showing my oldness, right? When I think of Atlanta, I think of Outkast
Me too.
first.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So him being from that same tree, it is fitting.
No, I agree. And shots to Spoken Thought says, I feel like LP has also made Killer Mike a better MC. I agree with
I can
that.
dig that.
I agree with that only because I feel like Run the Jewels as an entity just is such a unique.
I would say more.
It's a unique
I would say
thing
more of a more versatile.
But LP
sure.
was so involved with rap music.
Rap music is, to me, is what pretty much start the
ascension. Yeah.
of Killer Mike.
Because I know
For
people who love Pledge Allegiance to the Grind. Shout out to Brother to the Night.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that was dope.
That was dope. But when I heard rap music, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, rap
Okay.
music is just different.
And we have to also, like it's not, and this is not necessarily LP from an MC standpoint. LP is a music producer.
right.
Like,
So he brought it out of him through beat.
Exactly. Like he is a music producer. He's not just a beat maker.
Right.
He's not just an MC. Like he used to run a label with a bunch of MCs. He's worked with a lot of people. Like
Talk
LP,
about credibility.
LP's got, he doesn't get the flowers he deserves a lot of times, but I'm very sure that their
Dynamic.
their dynamic, the way that they work together probably brought the best out of both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And
He said also that No ID coming in being EP.
I think
EP.
No ID does that for everybody that he works with.
Yeah.
And he said he's known No ID for over 20 years,
Yeah.
and they've always talked about working.
No ID does not miss.
He does
No,
not
he
miss.
doesn't.
And he said it wasn't about him saying, okay, I got the sound for you. I'm just going to come in with the sound. He was like, nah, I'm trying to figure out the best way for you to get the best Killer Mike to come out.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
You know what I'm
No
saying?
ID. He's a good music producer.
Yeah.
Like he's a good beat maker. I like most of his beats, but as a music producer,
Yes.
the same thing I'm talking about with LP. He is really good at that, and he knows
Composing and pretty much
arranging
And
the
this goes
project.
back to
and-
Resurrection when it was him and Why Not.
Absolutely.
2 Piece and a Biscuit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
One day it all makes sense.
you don't
All
have
of
to,
that.
I'm one of those people like y'all. Some of y'all are just now finding out. Not anybody in this room are just now finding out about No ID.
that's crazy. to
which
me.
is wild to me. But
This is the stuff that.
Come on.
And I'll be the hater here. The stuff that No ID does, that loan that you just described, and we talked about LP. there's a section of America, and I've never believed this, I still don't, but there's a section of America in hip hop. People think that 𝐀𝐁 does this just as well as No ID does.
Let's stop.
Like there's people that when we talk about production, oh man, but he's the one that puts everything together. No, this is what I'm talking about when we say executive production.
I don't even want to give 𝐀𝐁 any type of shine when we're talking about Mike and LP.
You're right. You're right. You know what? You're right.
It's just not even the same.
You're right.
Like, and if you,
you're right.
You know.
All right,
but I agree with you.
But you see what I'm saying,
I agree
though.
with you. I mean, but we're both music producers.
Yeah.
We have
Google
produced projects, not just beats. So it's like, it's different. Like we understand that conversation, you know, like, and I personally can appreciate what Mike or what LP has done for that, because Run the Jewels is really great because it's like it's two MCs and a music producer. You know what I mean?
DJ.
Like it's
Don't
that.
forget the DJ.
And what
Trackstar.
What I really hope happens is, you guys talked about his from political standpoint, the festival standpoint. I hope this translates into sales for him. Like I hope he can pull like a #1 on something, or
then the conversation's finally over, right?
Yeah. Like I'm gonna go to Bandcamp and just cop. Like I'm gonna buy this album.
I don't think that attributes to.
Does that? Well, that go to him, don't it?
It does, but I don't think
I ain't
that
talking
goes
about the #1, but I'm talking about put some bread in his pocket.
Because, you know, once
because the
again,
streaming and stuff is what counts.
Yeah,
I talk about how I've listened to this album 3 times all the way through. Doesn't count. That doesn't. I guess nowhere close to being counting as a sale.
Actually a lot considering today's time when it came out Friday.
Yep.
You've listened to it 3 times all the way through.
That's a lot.
I mean, you've grown, you're busy, you have to do a lot of stuff to do, navigate through life.
Yeah.
Listen to it 3 times through, to me, that's actually good.
Yeah, but
that
that's
means
great,
that it's
but
a
you know
good
what?
album.
If you
that part,
everything has to add up to 1,500 streams to make one sale.
Yeah, when we're talking
Mike,
about
we trying to run it up, bro. We trying to run it up.
That's where it's not fair.
Yeah.
Because
I really appreciate it, though.
Like this album has had, like this is where it's really not set fair. This album has had my attention since Friday. And you know, usually when
I didn't get to it today.
When we buy albums, okay, that $15 has my attention since Friday. Well, it was Tuesday then, but you know, back when we talking about, that's where it's messed up, because it's like this is the only album I've really listened to in my spare time, and I've listened to it 3 times, and it doesn't like I'd have to listen to it 100 times more for it to come up to one sale.
Here's what I would say, though. I don't think Mike is probably overly worried about. I think it would be great. I think he'd enjoy it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I don't think Mike's going to be hurting even if this album doesn't.
Oh,
do
no.
And I think,
of course not.
And
it's not about that.
Exactly. It adds to his legacy.
Yeah.
And I guess the start of his legacy in some manner is based upon what you guys are saying. But like, yeah, this is just like more of like, there's certain people where I just like them as people.
Yeah.
Tyler is one of those people.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Killer Mike Render is one of those people that
Agreed.
I just like them as individuals, as humans. And I like to see people like that win.
I think this album, I always continue to listen to it because lasting power for me is important. How long is this an album that I'm going to continue? I still listen to No Dope on Sundays. To me, that's an incredible album. I still listen to that. I put this in that line where I feel like this is going to be an album that's not going to, you know, fall by the wayside. I feel like I'm going to listen to this album for a long time.
Yeah.
Like this, it's that good.
It's going to be classic material.
No, because
I got it trending that direction. I'm not a 24-hour classic person. I've never been that person.
This is the first album I've listened to all the way through since the Mr. Morale.
I mean, it's the same for me.
But the thing is, I'll just be honest.
In one sitting,
I enjoy this more than Mr. Morale. Like
100%.
Look, we've talked about it. Mr. Morale wasn't an easy record to listen to. Mm-hmm. This has some parts on it depending on where you are in your life. It's not easy to listen to.
It's very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you've been in a position where you've lost people or you've done certain things in your life, it's a little harder to listen to.
Again, it goes back to the vulnerability aspect of being an actual human being, an artist on a project, as opposed to just making music to make music.
Yeah. So but this
Trippie Redd might need to listen to this Killer Mike album.
Go ahead and cop this, man, and sit down somewhere and listen to.
He's gonna make anything like this.
He's not going, you know.
No.
But Lil Yachty tried.
He tried,
man.
Shout out to
Lil Yachty last album really ain't that bad, to be honest.
It's not bad. It's just not. It's just not what people were saying it was. That's all.
Yeah.
I thought they was making it sound like, to me, fam just a whole new person. And I started listening to it. I was like,
nah, it was like, you know, that one underperforming kid in class finally did well. That's what it was.
He got a good grade on his test.
It's like, oh man, good for you.
He did good at kickball on the play.
He got most of the
Johnny, you got an 85.
on
Congratulations.
he almost made it on that time test.
Yeah, almost.
You know, but this is about Mike. But still, it's
so.
Anyways,
You know, just
I think we covered it.
Killer Mike.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We needed this. Hip hop needed this. And
the bar has been raised.
Like I said, I'm glad I got something as far as a hip hop album.
Yeah,
I get to sit with for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Appreciate it.
I didn't have to listen. I was like, okay, let me just kind of suffer through it so I can find the singles.
Nah,
Because that's what I got to do a lot of times, to try to make my playlist, to kind of figure out, okay, what's going to work here. I didn't care, because this was a piece of art. And this is something that we're going to talk about for years to come, as opposed to everything else that we just throw away.
Yep.
All right, man.
Salute to Killer Mike, man.
Shout out to Killer Mike. We appreciate it.